It's me, Shariana.
What kind of dance is that?
The Olympic champion is back. That is special from Nebraska. Out of the pack.
Aero pulling away. Brilliant start by Papa Constantino.
It glitters gold for this Canadian.
Welcome back to Alumni Stadium at the University of Windsor for ACTV's coverage of the 2025 Johnny Loaring Classic. Adam Dunphy and Kate Van Buskirk with you. Up next on the track, it's the women's 1500-meter final, sponsored by Eco Workspace. It'll be Kate Current wearing hip 1. Stephanie Brokaw will have hip 2. Sadie Jane Hickson, hip 3. Gina McNamara, hip 4. Anna Vess, hip 5. Natalie Forche, hip 6. And Isabella Govia, hip 7.
And that is Brokaw out to the early lead. She is formerly known as Stephanie Brown and a former competitor and pacer of mine. She's got lots of pacing experience behind her. We saw her earlier in the 800, and I just wonder if she might be pacing the 15. It was set to be Danny Jones, although I don't see Jones in the field. And again, with Brokaw's experience, this might be exactly what she's doing for our defending champion, Kate Current, who also has the meet record from last year. She ran a very swift 4:08.67. And she has just had a stellar year, Adam, as they make their way around the top of the track towards the first lap. Kate Current has run personal bests in the 1500, the mile, and the 3000 all this year. And as they come through, that is an incredibly quick opening lap. And this is setting things up to be on track for what should be a meet record. They were 48.36 to the opening 300 meters, and it looked to be about 66 seconds to that opening lap. Again, that's quite swift, and you can tell that the entire field is strung out as Brokaw continues, I believe, to do the pace-setting duties just ahead of Kate Current. She was a silver medalist last year at the Canadian 1500-meter championships. International experience as well, having competed at the Pan Am Games. She was 7th there in 2023. Former standout for the for Western University, I should say, out of London. She's got an engineering degree from that stellar program as well, and she is looking very comfortable as they come up on 700 meters.
As you mentioned, Kate, Daddy Jones originally set to be the pacer, and the plan was for her to go between 800 and 1,000 meters, so we'll see if Brokaw does leave the track here in the next little bit.
They're coming up on the 800-meter split here, and they've slowed a little bit, 2:15 unofficially through that 800-meter mark. So you can see Brokaw just pulling off to the side. She's done a great job of setting the pace there for Kate Current, but Kate is in a class of her own, and she knows what she needs to get done here. This is a tough spot. She's got 600 meters to go, and she's completely solo. She's being chased down there by Sadie Jane Hickson, fellow Canadian, who's putting in a great effort to try to close that gap. But this is all Kate Current. Again, coming off of a recent personal best. She ran 4:06 earlier this year. She's a former U-Sport 1500 meter and 3000 meter champion. And again, just completely by herself as she comes up on the bell lap. She's going to hear that just outside that 3-minute mark, and she's got to keep things cranking down here if she wants to break her own meet record. 3:03 unofficially on the clock with 1 lap to go.
And there is the sweet, sweet sound of the bell for Kate Current. Again, her meet record from a year ago, 4:08.67. And some excellent pacing duties by Stephanie Brokaw has put her in a position to better that record here in 2025. It continues to be Sadie Jane Hickson running in second. And then it is a long way back to third, and that appears to be Anna Vess out of the U.S. But at the front, it is all Kate Current.
And she looks really strong. She hasn't showed any signs of slowing. Again, this is a very lonely place to be at this point in a race. You can see that starting to show on her face, but the form not breaking. In fact, if anything, Adam, she's picking it up as she drives her home. This is going to be a quick time.
4:08.67, the time to beat. And she puts in a solid finish. You could see her eyes. She knew she was close, and a very strong final 15 to 20 meters. And for Kate Curran, it is a successful 4:08.03. So that's going to better her meet record. And it will be Sadie Jane Hickson coming across in second. And this is Anna Vess who comes across for third.
Adam, that was astounding. Not only to run away with her own meet record right at 4:08 flat, but I got to tell you, to run 1:04.47 for that last lap is absolutely ridiculous all by herself. This woman is just oozing speed endurance, and she has so much more in the tank. Once she gets into another really competitive race, I think we're going to see an incredibly fast time for her. Again, kudos to our pacer, Brokaw, who did a great job of taking things out through that first 2 laps and really set the stage for Kate so that she could just turn her brain off a little bit and gather herself, knowing that she was going to have to do all of this work completely solo to the line. Look at the turnover. This girl's a sprinter, and she is running for home with unbelievable power. Well done to Kate Curran, taking home a new meet record and an unbelievably fast final lap.